Hey everybody, here's a couple of questions I got for y'all. So, do we still do child sacrifice? Are we doing anything to sacrifice children in our modern society? And what are the wages of dog culture? Those are two questions. There's a lot of child sacrifice that happened in the past. The Moloch, there's a bunch of these. Have a look at some of these. It'll help you answer the question if you'd like to answer it. Child sacrifice. So, do we do this in modern society? I think some people would probably say that they watched that movie, The Sound of Freedom, and they would say, well, yeah, we got a pedophilia problem. So, they're pretty mad about that, rightfully so. But what else should they be mad about that nobody talks about? That is also sacrificing the lives of our kids and the quality of life of our kids, and downstream, pretty much the life of everybody. What else? Let's look at a study from New York, and let's do a keyword search: children. Looks like we got 20 results. This is called the changing epidemiology of dog bites, and they use New York to collect some of their data. So look at how, when we use the word children, look what we find. Injuries are more prevalent among school-age children. In the conclusions paragraph, they say, to reduce the rate of dog bite injuries, prevention programs should center on teaching the danger of canine interactions, should be targeted at children. So we're blaming the children. If you got bit by a dog, it's because the kid wasn't trained properly. These children are born into houses full of dogs, so it's not their fault. It's the fault of the parents and the culture. But look what this study does. It tells us that we need to teach kids to turn down their humanity so they can be more, safe. The morbidity associated with dog bites is particularly pronounced among children. One study estimates half of the children have been bitten by nine of the nine causes of injury rated from activities that children frequently engage in, playground, etc. Dog bites rate second in terms of annual visits. So what they're saying here is that, well, kids can play some of these games that kids play, and still dog bites are high ranking in the way that they injure themselves. So that's my question here. Is there anything else going on in society? Is there something that we own in society? See this word right here? Is there something that we own in society more and more and more and more that causes more and more children to die? Is there anything? Is there any culture that um, makes us own a certain thing that causes us to kill our children? Is there? Is there, you guys? Now, this study right here, this is from a certain city, but you can find thousands of these. You can go on CDC. This study itself is actually cited on the Center for Disease Control. But these studies, you can go in here and keyword search this place, and there's tons of these studies that are done, and you really don't see them pushed out. But the thing that's so sad about this is they say teaching children the dangers of canine interactions, we need to target that teaching towards children. So they're admitting right here that there's dangers with canine interaction, and we need to teach all these kids how to deal with that. Well, maybe you shouldn't be bringing all these dogs into society then, if these kids need to be trained just to be around their dogs. Here's a study that is within this video in it, and I'll play a short clip of it, and then we'll do a little math real quick.
In 2015 into
Okay.
maulings. In every video I have ever seen, the mauling happened because of an unrestrained dog. There were 28,000 reconstructive surgeries.
Okay, 28,000 reconstructive surgeries in the year that he's talking about here. And we can rightfully assume that those will only increase with the increasing amount of dogs being pushed onto human society. So how many days are in a year, all y'all? 365, and what did he say? 28,000. So let's do this. It's going to be like 70, but let me bring a calculator up. Calculator. I'm taking my time here. You guys know where I'm going. I'll go to the calculator. Wow. We got a slow computer, don't we? Isn't... Wow. Okay, well, anyways, it's 70 reconstructive surgeries per day. So I'll post this study up. So just think about that. 70 reconstructive surgeries per day. And the people that are suffering these are mostly women and children. This kid right here, he's one of the people that had to get his face reconstructed. This kid, um, there's some really nasty pictures in here, and he goes to school and they call him a monster. They make fun of him. They don't make fun of the dog. They don't talk about how terrible it is that the dog bit him. They say, oh, he needed to be trained better to be around dogs. And he goes to school with his torn up face, and the little kids call him monster. But you can't call a dog a monster in modern society. What will happen? People will be like, oh, you're freaking blah, blah, blah. Yeah. So, what are the wages of dog culture? Seems to me like the wages are that word I keyword search right here. See this word that I keyword searched? Go keyword search any of these studies, and it will tell you two big things. It'll say the kids are the ones that are most dying from these dog bites, and then it'll tell you, oh, you better train your kids. So it's just perpetuating the problem. People might say, well, the cost is just money. $4 billion a year is what we spend on the pet vitamin, which is dogs and cats mostly dogs. People own more dogs than cats. So how many kids out there have problems, skin rashes, flu-like symptoms, and yet we're spending all this money on dogs. Like here's one from New York. They have a huge pet feces problem, dog shit. These kids can't go out walking. And what do you think is in those dog feces? Fecal bacteria. Do you think that's good for your kids? So all this fecal bacteria gets brought into all of these homes, and there's all kinds of parasites and other things that are. Here's an excerpt from the CDC. There's many parasites that are associated with dog shit, and all of these kids, they're suffering because dog feces is being brought into their house, and they can't go on walks, or dog poops out of control in New York City. I just chose New York City because this study I'm showing you is also New York City. So, my two questions: are we still doing child sacrifice in this modern time? Are we? Is that what we're doing? Let's look up the definition of child sacrifice. Child sacrifice is a ritualistic killing of children in order to please or appease a deity, supernatural being, or sacred social order, tribe group, or national loyalist in order to achieve a desired result. As such, it is a form of human sacrifice. So, are we performing human sacrifice? Are we deitizing dogs? All the reconstructive surgeries, all the flesh being removed from kids' faces. And it's not like you get a reconstructive surgery, then you just go back to being a kid, kicking the soccer ball around and riding your bike. No, for the rest of your life, you're afraid of dogs because a dog removed your face. And then you have to go live in a society that worships dogs. So it's even the downstream torture. You take a kid that has been mauled, like our little kid right here. I gotta be careful because there's some whoops. That kid's face and many other kids' faces is torn up like that. And that's a black lady that got injured. But now that kid has to go out in society, a society that worships dogs, and he's afraid of dogs because dogs nearly killed him and removed his face. And what if he wants to go into a store? Stores are full of these bullshit emotional support dogs. What if that kid wants to go into a restaurant? Restaurants are constantly full of dogs, causing problems in restaurants, fighting in restaurants. Now that kid that's been attacked by a dog, he has to go into a society that worships a dog. Imagine being a kid that escapes pedophilia, and then you tell him he needs to go live in a society that around every corner is a pedophile, and his neighbors have pedophiles living with them. That's what we're doing to these kids with this dog culture. This definition right here, the deity, the supernatural beings. Yeah, people treat dogs like supernatural beings. A dog is a baby. A dog is my brother. A dog is your sibling. No, it's a dog. It's not. It doesn't have magical powers to defeat biology, no matter how many kids you feed it. So, what do you guys think? Do we have a child sacrifice issue right here? And what are the wages of dog culture? It seems to me the wages of dog culture are described within here, right here. Wages of dog culture is that, and the wages of dog culture is that. And yeah, $4 billion a year on pet vitamins while our kids are sick and obese, and I don't know. What do you guys think? Looking forward to the answers.